Hi, I'm Lori Brown. Let's Pondercast. Admit it, you aren't like them. You're not even close. You may occasionally dress yourself up as one of them, watch the same mindless television shows as they do, maybe even eat the same fast food sometimes. But it seems that the more you try to fit in, the more you feel like an outsider, watching the normal people as they go about their automatic existences. For every time you say club passwords like, "Have a nice day," and "Weather's awful today, eh?" you yearn inside to say forbidden things like, "Tell me something that makes you cry," or "What do you think déjà vu is for?" Face it, you even want to talk to that girl in the elevator. But what if that girl in the elevator and the balding man who walks past your cubicle at work are all thinking the same thing? Who knows what you might learn from taking a chance on a conversation with a stranger? Everyone carries a piece of the puzzle. Nobody comes into your life by mere coincidence. Trust your instincts. Do the unexpected. Find the others. Thank you, Timothy Leary, for naming something that we all feel. Inside, we are all outsiders. Find the Others is also the name of a musical project by Andy Shepherd. Yes, Andy Shepherd, producer of The Signal on CBC Radio 2 for 10 years, the show that I was the host of. The show that probably brought you here to Pondercast. I think Andy's music in Find the Others embodies the heart and soul of what The Signal was. I want you to be able to hear and feel his latest album in its entirety. Okay, here is a Find the Others experience that you can relate to. You've discovered a new band. It was their first album. You really don't know too much about them, but you've totally fallen head over heels. And finally, they are coming to your town. They are playing a crappy little club, and you've bought tickets, and you're very excited about it, and you have no idea who else is going to show up. And you go to the club just as interested in seeing who else is into this band as you are in seeing the band themselves. So you get there and you start to look around, and you realize that the club is filled with weirdos, oddballs, and you are forced yet once again to accept the conclusion that you too are an oddball, you are a weirdo, and you need to realize that yes, these people that you're looking at around you are thinking the same thing. We must confront the reality that we all are strange. We are all outsiders. This is the first track from Empire of Time by Find the Others. It's called We Stared at the World.
Sundogs in the sky, crystalline halo, halftime borealis, satellites overhead. gravity pulls us in. Night is black and white. All the stars undercover. Close up telephoto. You can see millions of colors. We stared at the world. The world changed. We stared at the world and the world. Whatever it's worth, you know it's all temporary. We're all diamonds to ashes. And what a winter will we come undone if we let all the light in? Just a small constellation over billions of years. We stared at the world. The world changed. We stared at the world and the world.
We stared at the world, and the world changed. Sometimes it's hard to continue to look at the world. But you've got to. Otherwise, you're just going to freeze on the spot if you take your eye off the ball. And how can you be part of any kind of good change in the world if you've stepped off the playing field? Maybe that's what makes the time you have at night after the computer is shut down, after the news is over, that time becomes very precious. The time we are left to ourselves at home. It's your chance to step back from the world just a bit, to recharge, renew, so you can live to fight another day. No wonder we want to stay up a little later than we should. This is Night Owl by Find the Others.
Time, gravity, and lone spare lights will surely reveal signs
That was called Night Owl. You know, I think some days that I am living in the dark ages. Only, no, this time around, it's got to have a slightly different name. Let's call it the Dark Rages. It's dark, so dark out there, and finding a shred of light to cling to follow, to warm yourself with, seems to get harder, especially on those days when your own light has been snuffed out. Where do you hunt for light? In the stars and in the moon? Such loyalty that they continue to show up for you night after night. Or do you find your light in your partner? Or in the look in your dog's eyes? Or in a pill? We all have to learn to make our own light. As Bruce Cockburn says, gotta kick at the darkness till it bleeds daylight. Or Leonard Cohen, there is a crack in everything, that's how the light gets in. Cohen said, the future is no excuse for an abdication of your own personal responsibilities towards yourself and your job and your love. Ring the bells that can still ring. Well, they're few and far between, but you can find them. If Leonard Cohen thinks we can do it, then God damn it, we can do it. And find the others thinks we can too. Here's an encouraging bit of light for you to build on right now. It's called Light in a Bottle.
Deep underground, how shadows lie. There is a bottle filled up with light, filled with light. Under the water, below the night, there is a bottle filled up with thrown away, cast away from a starless century. Left by a stranger, it makes no sound, but still it calls you from underground, underground. Open the bottle, let out the light until the morning beats down the line. Burn on ember, burn to core. You just passed through, drawn to colors. Deep underground, how shadows lie. There is a bottle filled up with light, filled with light. Under the water, below the night, there is a bottle
is a brand new remix of the title track, Empire of Time, from Find the Others, and Andy McNeil has done it. Andy McNeil of Maple Mountain Sunburst Triolean Orchestra. Listening to it the first time, I heard something that sounded so much like a heartbeat. It bounces from left to right in the mix. Oh, it doesn't sound like an actual heartbeat, it's too regular, but it feels like one, and it brings up a memory. I am a very little girl, little enough to be carried around by my father. It must be a Saturday because he's wearing his favorite old gray sweatshirt. He's carrying me, and I can feel the soft, frayed edge of the collar against my face. And I can see very close up the stitched V in the center of the round neckline. That sweatshirt is so soft. It tells me it's a Saturday when my dad's wearing it. And as I press my head against his chest, I can hear my father's heartbeat, and I can hear his voice coming from deep inside of him, so deep and low. My eyelashes are brushing the gray softness as he carries me about. I am oblivious to where we are, where we're going, what we're up to. I am so safe and content to be so firmly attached to my father. I can see, feel, and smell that sweatshirt to this very day. That memory brought to the surface again by this new remix of the title track of Empire of Time.
Put your sword down, Abraham. The time has come. Right through the fire at last, but the war's never done. And I have come to you, not seeking revenge, but to hand you my hand, to carry your bones, to share up my land, or water my home. Lie down, Alexander, at the edge of the world. Sandal in the ocean and a flag unfurled. We have come to you, not seeking revenge, but to hand you our hand, to lift up your kid, read you our stories, gather you in the endless empire of time. And about this empire of time. Put your bow down, Lionheart, your fever will end. There is food and water sent by a friend who has come to you, not seeking revenge, greet you again, brother in arms, leader of men. Some path of time, and in the
Oh, I love that long fade. That song doesn't end, it retreats. Goodbye, goodbye, come back again. That was the remix by Maple Mountain Sunburst Triolean Orchestra, aka Andy McNeil. The teenage you. The teenage you in the middle of your first love. Ah, it was a whirlwind. You were a jumbled mess of dreams. The ideas you were spouting, trying out, hoping to get behind someday. You were unsure of what you really believed, of who you were, of where you were headed. You were unsure of what you wanted, except that you were full of want. You ached with a painful want for your life to begin, to have a path appear in front of you. You wanted a love so great that it would be the answer to all your questions. This is The Things You Want by Find the Others.
The leaves were green when we first met. You burnt your hand, remember, on your cigarette. All the things you want. as a hammer, aching for the things you want, the things you need, the things you disappear into darkness with a hurt that never, ever
The things you want. Okay, now let's talk about the things you want but you know you shouldn't have. Yes, we all have a list of those. Be it a dessert, another drink, another cigarette, another affair, another vicious verbal stab at someone you say you love. But you are jonesing for that high you get after you do it. What is that high that comes with those harsh words? Is it pleasure? Is it power? From dessert to a drink to an affair, I think you can trace every one of those things back to one greatest fear, that we are unlovable. That's even scary to say out loud. But back to the high. When you feel your addiction start to grab hold of you, and you start that oh so familiar negotiation with yourself just before you give in? Kind of like this. This is called This Vampire Has Seen Better Nights.
You say to yourself, you won't go there, not anymore. You learn with your past before the flood, before the war. Now you are all alone, and in the dark you
This Vampire Has Seen Better Nights. You know, listening to this album, it's kind of hard to figure out what Andy Shepherd's first instrument is. And I love that. But his first instrument is the guitar. And you're going to hear that very much so in this next track. Guitar and voice are one. This feels like a song you must know. This will have your DNA vibrating somehow. The intervals, those chord changes, like an old hymn, gorgeous, satisfying resolves, really strong melody. But Andy's singing about things that are much tougher to pin down, much harder to know. There's a lovely irony here. This lovely, strong melody posing questions that can never be resolved. This is called A Fine Line.
It's a fine line between sane and sin, from breath to skin, from her to him. It's a fine line from living to dead, from saying to said, from a smile to a bed. Fine incision from lovely grace. No lines on your face, no time, no trace. You could say we wished away all those hours and days, and I could say remember. I could tell you then, on the night my sweet infidel told a lie. On the night my still angel fell from the sky. It's a fine line between night and day, and the black and the gray would still betray. It's a fine line between growing and old, promise of gold to have to hold, final decision to stay or to go, to feel, to know, to will, to grow. You could say we pissed away all those hours and days, and I could say remember when, I could tell you then. On the night my sweet infidel told a lie.
fine line. Andy's going to be joined by Rob and Dan in this next track. Rob and Dan from the band Bernice from Toronto. And they are going to lead us into a battle here. The military snare will get the blood flowing, but battle is really a totally wrong word here. It's a song about screwing up your courage, sure, but for what? For love? You know, that scary moment when you realize that you can finally see the story of your life laid out in front of you, and that it's going to be forever linked with the person you are staring at across the room. That you will make your life story together, for better and for worse. Yes, a terrifying moment, and one that gets no less terrifying as time marches on. But in the few moments you have of big perspective on your life, you can glimpse how it makes sense, and you can grasp a sense of purpose to what it is you're doing. This is called Meant for This.
These habits were born in battles lost, hard won. Found all your flaws in the midday sun. Paint you a picture of fields and farms, shine in, fill in the space with light. Is a stranger, we'll never know. We two, person I see, fiction of you. I'll write you a story of summer storms, shine in, borrow a line or two if I can. Your shelter, don't need your help alone. Hole in my heart, that's what music is for. I'll write you a song of love and loss, shine in, screw up my courage, play if I can.
meant for this. You know, I spoke earlier about all those really satisfying chord changes. I think it brings a very timeless feel to Empire of Time. When I go to my place in the Bay of Fundy in Nova Scotia, and I'm by myself and it's late at night, I'll sit down in the dark at the piano or the pump organ and open an ancient hymnary and play an old hymn, rather badly. But the satisfaction of those shifts in the left hand, it feels like I'm putting my world to rights before I go to bed. Everything falls back into place, like horses in a stable, like children finally asleep in their beds. This is the perfect closer for Empire of Time. This is Lost Boys Choir. Ending on a lullaby seems right. As Andy Shepherd, who is Find the Others, programmed our old CBC show The Signal for 10 years, he got masterful at finding the right music for that time of night, 10 to midnight. But here's something I don't know about Andy and his music. Was the Signal show influenced by his own music, or did the Signal change the kind of music that he now makes? Yes, like everything else in life, probably both things are true, right? So here, by the grace of Andy, have you listened to the entire Empire of Time album? If you love it like I love it, please buy it on Bandcamp. Gift it to someone who you think would love it, because we know there's nothing better than helping someone else discover a new favorite artist. You are tasked with finding the others. Coming up on Pondercast, we're thinking ahead to Christmas. How would you like to give the gift of a snowfall to someone you love? For the month of November, you can pre-order your personalized Christmas snowfall for the person who has everything if you go to lauriebrown.ca. I'm Laurie Brown. Have a great night and have a great day.